welcome to the Hooniverse podcast. Late last year, Dan Roth and I picked up the reins of the show from Jeff Glucker, and we put together what we thought were a pretty great series of shows with a new format. And believe it or not, now we're about to shake things up again. My name is Ross Ballett, and I'll be sticking around to host podcast. Dan actually landed a day job with a certain electric vehicle startup, and this position prevents him from being in front of the mic or the camera, but he is staying on as our executive producer and spirit animal, and even though you won't see or actually hear him, his influence will still definitely be here. I won't be alone. We're going to have a rotating gambit of co-hosts who are going to join with unique perspectives and experiences, and the two of them who are going to be the most frequent with me are actually here on this first episode of our new format. So the first of them is Chris Tracy, and he was and is what I call my brother in arms for the just over 200 episodes that we did of the Off the Road Again podcast. He is a great guy. He knows a ton about running a show, lives in Kansas City, and he's an overland guy. So hope everybody welcomes Chris with open arms. And the other is Camille Kaluski. He is actually new to podcast hosting. He has been around for Hooniverse longer than I've known about the site, and he's a car guy through and through. He's done 24 Hours of Lemons, and he's involved in all sorts of things, including driving press cars, and he's got his own YouTube channel he's trying to get off the ground. So welcome him as well, please. We will have guests. Chris and I had an enormous amount of amazing guests on Off the Road Again, and I am shooting to bring them and some of their friends in. So we want you to tell us too, if there's anybody you want to hear from within the auto industry or the automotive media, let us know. We're happy to reach out. And I mean, between us and Glucker and everybody in our little circle, we probably can pull some strings, or hopefully can pull some strings as I get ahead of myself before anything actually happens. And speaking of Glucker, hopefully he'll stop by sometime to talk with us. So as for what this show will be, we're going to try some new things. Dan and I had a new format that kind of had a storyline, like a through line through each show. We may throw that into the mix here as well. And, there'll be the regular rotation of stuff that you've come to expect on the Hooniverse podcast. Automotive news, car reviews, product reviews, stories, industry shenanigans, all the BS that comes with this profession that some of us have, and for others like myself, hobby. So that's it. Again, thank you for listening, and let's roll. Just because we have done this does not mean we are professionals. Welcome. Ish. Welcome. Yeah. Professionals-ish. Welcome to the newest iteration of the Hooniverse podcast. My name is Ross Ballett, and I am joined by Chris Tracy and Camille Kaluski. And this is basically what the new show is going to be. It's going to be a version of one of us, two of us, or all three of us, as we have tonight. And we're going to talk about all things cars, trucks, off-road, on-road, engines, trips, shenanigans, car reviews, all that stuff that you've come to know and love, or hopefully love, with the Hooniverse podcast. So thank you for listening. And now the guys are going to introduce themselves quickly.
I'm Chris Tracy. I have been a writer on Hooniverse for a very long time and co-host / produced Off the Road Again podcast with Ross for going on 4 years and 200 plus episodes. 200
plus episodes.
And this is a re-entry into the space for me, but at the same time, I'm not doing anything, so it's great.
And it's overdue for you to be back here.
No, it's not.
It is. And I've been writing for Hooniverse since 2016, and Chris, I think you were probably around the same time, maybe a little after, and Camille's got us both beat.
Yeah. I think I've used to call on the website since I think 2009. And even though you guys had a podcast and you had 200 wonderful episodes, you've only had me as a guest once.
Did we really?
Yes, only once. But I'll give you credit that's one more time than Jeff ever did.
Okay.
So I'm going to be
Was
fair
it
over
twice?
I'm willing to bet it was at least twice.
Maybe I have CRS. I don't know.
It was that bad an experience.
Drops in the bucket, I'm sure. So happy we made a lasting impression. So, okay.
I'm doing my Google search now. I'm looking at
check the records. Let's do some live fact checking. So, anyways, in our normal shows going forward, we'll probably have some kind of topic or theme or trajectory that follows us through the show after some kind of intro and story to start. Tonight, since we're doing this kind of up against the clock and it's jump into the deep end, we're going to skip that, and we're going to talk about a topic about where you draw the line in modifying your vehicle. And this topic came up because somehow Chris, Camille, and I all own Lexus GXs of various states of life currently, even though we've all owned the same vehicles in other capacities at other times. We all concurrently own a Lexus GX. And Chris is thinking about changing up the back door because you can bolt on a Toyota Prado 150 barn door from overseas for what the price of a used Miata used to be. So where do you guys draw the line? I mean, I have no stop.
Do you have a line?
My line is you can't drive it and be comfortable. But my line right now, because I have two very small children, is it has to still carry them safely.
Yeah. The GXs are known to be small and uncomfortable vehicles for families. It's sarcasm. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not as good of a family vehicle as people would think just by passing it on the street.
That's because you ruined it.
Well, no, I'm talking about in terms of second row passenger legroom between, where a toddler's feet kick up and the seat back.
So what you need to do is you need to go to Europe and see what kind of family vehicles they have over there.
Yes, everything is relative.
Apparently a Toyota Corolla wagon should suffice for you.
I mean, a GTI will get it done anywhere in the world.
There you go.
So
to answer your question, you are the kind of modifying person where you will throw everything in a kitchen sink at a car, then declare that you're bored with it, that it doesn't fit you, and move on to something else. And I know this because I've seen you do that with a WRX, with a Challenger, with
I didn't modify those. I didn't really modify. I did exhausts on both of those cars and wheels and tires, and that was it.
Yes. Then you found something to complain about, like seats not being good for your back, and then you moved on.
Man, on the other hand, first show and I'm getting raked over the calls. This is
why not? I'm just going to throw you right under the bus.
This is hosting, isn't it?
I'm a bit different. The Lexus for me is different because it's the first vehicle that I bought modified, which was a huge mistake because I'm very OCD and I not only care about what I put on, but also how it's put on, because you can have a good modification or a good part and you can have somebody completely F it up. Didn't
you also buy it sight unseen?
Yes, that's another problem, but that would require a separate show.
But we don't talk about that.
No, let's not get stupid. No. So my excuse for most of my issues with my GX are because of stupid previous owners, lack of proper inspection, and or it just being old, because it's got 200-something thousand miles on it, which is probably a lot more than either of yours, or both of yours combined.
Camille, yours is a 470. What year is it?
03. It's the first year.
It's an 03. Okay. So, and incidentally, at one point, you and I had the same wheels and tires. They were both black. They both had Iron Man or Aussie style front bumpers and
suspension.
And Iron Man suspension. Yeah. And parked next to each other,
But you had to sell your wheels.
I did. And I don't regret that. But yeah, so yours is an 03, and Chris has a 2017 that is just starting down the slippery slope.
Well, so for me, like you were right before when you were talking about I have 4 kids. The GX is not great for having all 4 kids in it unless we're going to dinner or say we're running downtown. And I don't want to take the Sequoia with everybody in it. I can get all 6 people in it. The biggest 2 kids sit in the captains. The smaller 2 kids sit in what we call the way back, even though it's only the way back, but whatever.
The third row in the GX is terrible.
Yeah, it is. But if those 2 kids are short enough, and see, I'm fortunate in that I don't have to have the toddler seats that you're dealing with constantly in the back row. Like,
it's true.
God damn, the day those seats went away.
It's the best fucking day ever.
Is it really?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Like, throwing them away feels fantastic.
So I will say, when my first daughter was born and I had press cars, putting the car seat base, we have this Duna thing, which is like the stroller that collapses into itself and then just goes into the base. Like moving that, you just clip it into the latch system, 5-minute process at most. Moving it from car to car with a mirror is 5 minutes if you screw it up. Now with the forward facing seat that you gotta like run over the headrest and connect to the back, and in a pickup truck it's got to go through the headrest and over to the center one, and in some cars you got to fold the seat and connect. It is, moving car seats is a pain in the ass, and this is like champagne problems,
When I first started doing car reviews, that was my thing. It was like, how easy is it to put car seats into?
Yes.
Like I did that in every video.
100%.
Yep. Torchinsky friggin' killed it with Will It Baby.
Yeah, Will It Baby.
Man, like you should have seen me trying to put, this 360-degree rotating car seat in a Ram 2500. It's like, I'm not tall. This isn't made for me.
What was one of the most difficult cars for me to put on a car? One of the car seats, I remember cursing, was the FJ Cruiser.
Oh, I can
with
imagine.
Those stupid little
the suicide doors, but the suicide doors on the half doors on those don't open. No. They don't give you enough gap to get to the seat the way they do on like an extended cab pickup.
Yeah, no. That
was worse than an RX-8.
I did 2 front-facing car seats into the back seat of a Fiat 500 Abarth. And it was the best because I just took, at the time we only had the 2 boys, so it made sense. But like, I think it was like a snowy morning too, and I was dropping them off at daycare, and we were in an empty parking lot. I did handbrake turns all the way through that
parking lot. You didn't need a GX for that. You hear that, Ross?
Yeah.
That was also, I thought the car was broken, but it's literally because I think my second kid at the time was 9 months old, and he was in the back mimicking the sound of the exhaust, and I was like, all right, so this kid might be all right. But I thought the car was broken because there was this weird extra noise. No, it was him in the back growling at it.
Amazing. The car makes a good noise, I'll say.
Yeah.
The Abarth makes a good noise.
Yeah, it barks a lot. It's like a chihuahua. It's all bark and no
bite.
Yep. I think I drove one of those. It's got to be at least 10 years ago. But those things were silly.
Those can be picked up cheap, used.
$5,000.
How good they are.
Not good.
But like, reliability not good.
Oh yeah.
I think they have like basic issues to expect. They're not. Right,
it's a Fiat.
Crazy problematic, but it's the kind of thing where you'll be spending money.
Yeah, but like, so is a Mini Cooper.
Absolutely.
So is every Audi and a whole bunch of other cars.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's why people buy Miatas, that's just simple and it works. But we don't need to talk about that in our first episode. Do you guys have any other thoughts on what the end goal for modifying is on the GXs?
I do. So I can't talk about my GX because I bought it like this. But for me, for every car I owned, I would only do the things that I felt like I needed to improve on. Yeah. So with my Integra, I did the suspension. My Prado is a good example of that. It turned into a whole big project, but none of the things that I did were needed. I got a nice stereo because I had a JDM radio that wouldn't pick up American stations, and I wanted Apple CarPlay. The roof and the hood were faded from the sun, so I wrapped it. The wheels were pitted, so I replaced the wheels. I needed new tires. The shocks were gone, so I just put a light lift kit on it. And
that was a real Prado, to clarify.
Yeah,
everybody listening. It wasn't a GX.
That was a really cool project, but what people miss often, which it was a little bit more than I expected in the Prado, was making it solid, as in it needed some maintenance. Like I didn't expect to replace the alternator. I didn't expect to rebuild the steering rack. In those engines, the hell is it called? The knock sensors are mounted inside the V. There's 2 of them, so you got to pull off the intake manifold for that. That was another issue. But it was a fantastic project to work on. But again, in terms of my modifications, I don't tend to do anything that I don't need to do on.
Right. Cars. Yeah, that's the way to approach it.
Kind of like an OEM plus shit,
Yep.
Or we're not supposed to curse.
Yep.
I already did, so and Ross didn't tell me I couldn't, so I figured we were. I don't remember Jeff stopping, so.
Yeah, but for instance, I have a Bronco too, and the only thing I did on it was change the tires because it doesn't need anything else from me.
Mm-hmm. How has your Bronco been?
It's got 36,000 miles on it, and it's been shockingly good. There's no issues with it.
Wow.
I was having an oil change, and I said check the brakes. And I live in a city, a lot of city driving. The brakes are not even 50% worn.
Wow,
really?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That said, I don't trust it as far as I can throw it. And when my warranty was about to expire, I did get an extended warranty from Ford.
That's
really
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But oh god, I got to do brakes on my GX.
We know Dan would approve of making sure you get the extended warranty.
Yeah, right.
Slightly biased.
Dan loves Ford. What are we talking about?
I think Dan's middle name is actually Ford.
Dan Ford Roth. He's gonna love listening to this, editing this. He has the power. He has the power.
No, he can take all of it out. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, we lost Camille. Dan just drove over.
No, he's there.
Dan drove from the other side of Boston and just killed Camille on the spot.
Oh yeah. He's gonna send a drone my way. That's gonna be a little bit of a drive.
It'll hit me first. But yeah, no, I tend to take the same approach. It's like upgrade the things that will need to be upgraded, and some creative liberties along the way. But if it will improve the reason and the use case behind the vehicle, awesome.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
What are the modifications you've made that you've regretted? And I can name one really easily.
On the vehicle you currently own, or that you,
for instance, or whatever, an example in the past. I'll give you a Prado example.
Yeah.
I chose slightly bigger tires because obviously, but the tires in that size, which was 265.
Are they 16s?
No, they were 17s.
Okay.
Whatever the size, it was a little bit small. Whatever the size was, the BFG KO2s were only available in load E. Had I gone slightly smaller in size or slightly bigger, they would be available in load C.
Yep.
And the load E, the heavier, thicker tire, completely killed my ride.
Yep.
That was my regret.
That is how a lot of people with Tacomas and 4Runners end up hating their vehicles, because they go up to like a 285 7017 and that it goes from a 45-pound tire to a 65-pound tire, and it kills the ride, it kills the acceleration, it kills the gas mileage, it kills the cornering, and people are like, well, my truck drives like shit now. And
so funny thing, I have the Falcon
AT4s, the Wild Peaks,
and load E and load C were about the same weight in 285 75 17.
There's a few tires,
and they were like the same weight as 285 70, which is a 33-inch tire, which is the weirdest thing ever.
I would wonder about like the ply and the carcass they're using, but
I think they put. So here's my theory on these tires, and I'm going to let you go on because I feel like I'm hijacking you. I think BFG did it with KO3s as well. In order to get a longer warranty, they just slapped additional rubber, not necessarily more belts, but additional rubber on the outside. That gave them thicker, basically more wear item, but also thicker depth. Like
the actual lug depth, the tread depth itself is thicker. I mean, we can figure that out.
Exactly.
We can cross-reference, size versus size and weight versus weight from generation to generation.
KO3 is the same size. Like
KO3's got heavier. Yeah, they got heavier.
This is why. But they also put a longer warranty on them.
That's interesting. That is a good theory. I mean,
don't think so.
I love focusing on, like, I'm obsessed with tires, and I think everybody knows that. I'll look into that. I have some people I can ask that question to.
You
specifically.
go ahead and do that and have an answer for us.
I'll try to report back.
Camille, what do you have on the GX right now?
The 34-inch 285 75 17s Wild Peaks.
Which are
Wild Peaks, okay.
Yeah.
And Russ, you changed your tires?
Whatever they're called.
I have the 34 by 10.5 KO2s on the Lexus right now. Okay. And I have a set of 255 8017 Toyo RT Trails that are ready to go on the truck once I...
So we were going to switch to see how...
We were literally going to switch them.
Yeah, we just don't have the time.
I know.
Maybe sometime in July I can hike up there.
Speaking of, we might be doing a trip, not really up your way, but equidistant from where you and I are north to go off-roading. So I'll let you know. Okay. Inside baseball aside, all over the place on this one, man. We really kicked this thing off by just giving everybody a lot of different things. So yeah, we're going to take about, I think, 5 or 10 more minutes, and we'll call it wraps. Let's quickly just touch on a car review or two. I have a couple good ones that I could talk about. Camille, I don't know if you have anything that you've driven. Chris, anything that you've had access to. Chris is in Kansas City for the listeners, so the press fleet in Kansas City kind of is.
I do, and I think we have a lot of overlaps.
Yeah, okay. I live between two press fleets.
I'm actually in a 4Runner right now.
The new one?
And you told us you like it more than its siblings.
Yes. So it's not the non-hybrid version. So
it's not super heavy,
and it's not slow, and it's just fine. It actually pulls quite well on the highway.
What is
constantly turn on and off?
It's a turbo.
What is it?
It's a turbo 4,
but without the hybrid.
Without the hybrid, it makes like, I don't know. It's like 278.
278. Yep. Yeah, I think so.
And it actually has a gearbox that was developed in let's think. The president, when it was developed, wasn't George Bush, so it's
pre-Bush. No,
oh fuck. This one is modern. It's got a new gearbox, is what I'm trying to say. Because the 5-speed that was in the last ones was probably developed in that was developed in the 90s. That might have been developed when the first Bush was in there.
Yes, in 2000. Yes, that powertrain is gone.
Yeah,
this one's completely different, and basically I like it better than a Land Cruiser one.
Okay.
Another issue is that it still has a small fuel tank. But what's nicer, and it's nicer than the Lexus, is the goddamn interior. Now, this is the limited model.
Mm-hmm. But the limited 4Runner has a nicer interior than the GX 550?
Honestly, yes.
Okay.
The GX interior, to me, was a disappointment.
I haven't actually been in a new GX or a new 4Runner. I'm surprised to hear that, but I don't doubt that there could be inconsistencies in things.
I've gone to dinner in a GX downtown. We went with friends and I rode in her brand new one downtown, and yeah, I can absolutely see that, Camille. It was nothing.
The GX felt like a Camry. This one is like the GX had a big piece of plastic for the whole dash, that includes the screen. Here it's more modular. The screen is a little bit separately, and it just seems like it's the finish is nicer.
Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to ping the.
But I can talk about the GX to an extent because I found a lot of things I didn't like with it, and I'm very disappointed with it.
It's surprising.
I remember the text rant.
Yes. Oh man. We should just publish those.
Nope. Those are not publishable. Nope.
Okay, give us your spark notes. What didn't you like about the GX?
So no more air suspension. Now, most people don't like air suspension, but it's actually quick. Air suspension is genius. Because,
AHC in Lexus
as long as you don't end up modifying it, it works great because it's comfortable. It increases your towing capacity, your payload capacity. You don't squat, you don't do anything. So that's gone. In place of it are just typical iron springs, and they just have variable shocks with variable geometry, sort of like you would have old school Tokikos with a little knob on it, or the BMW. And so I had it on the Merritt Parkway driving to New York, and
you drove past my house and didn't say hi.
I said hi, you just didn't hear me. So anyway.
I can see the Merritt. Anyways.
It just felt like the suspension was fighting the physics of the car as opposed to just going with it,
I mean, a stock GX is usually like that in every generation.
What I'm saying is I didn't like it.
That's fair.
And I mean, I've driven the old GXs like yours, the Ford, what do you have, 60, and I didn't get that sense. And the Land Cruisers and the GXs that had the air suspension system were just great.
Okay. Don't forget, this is the first time when Lexus is building a new GX that they have an actual 3-row crossover available. You know, there's the TX, and I mean, there was that like RX with a tiny little 3rd row briefly, but I think they're really trying to push the GX more towards this is truck, this drive like truck, you know? So
I
wonder,
did a good job of that.
Yeah, I wonder if that has something to do with why you didn't like how it, you know, how it felt.
You know,
because
I didn't expect sports car handling. I just expected.
Yeah,
I'm not verbalizing myself well. I'm just. I was not happy with the suspension.
So, Camille, mine. I mean, it's a 17. It has KDSS, but it doesn't have the air suspension. Even though I have the luxury trim, which I've never understood how that.
You can decouple luxury and.
I don't know.
See? Interesting.
I literally have a truck that doesn't have AHC, and every time I put in the VIN, it's like, no, you're luxury. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I got poor people buttons. How can it be luxury?
Oh, that might have been the year that they called the base one luxury.
Luxury?
Yeah.
Maybe. What year was it?
17.
You know something? That I believe around that year they had a problem with FJ Cruiser too, and it trickled down to that. What the hell was it?
Well, there was
a tsunami in Japan.
And you mean the Fukushima?
Yes. Wasn't it around that time?
2017? I don't know. There was no FJ in
I thought it was 2011.
2017.
Am I getting my... I think that 2017 was the first year of the FJ. I may be getting confused. But there was a year or so, or even 2, where Toyota couldn't produce some models that didn't fit the trim because they had problem sourcing the parts.
Huh. That makes sense to me. That math checks out. But what I was going to say is when I am fully loaded with my giant 17-year-old who weighs 240 pounds, plus myself, plus my wife, and the rest of the kids, the truck, what you're describing with the GX550, I feel like the truck does that sometimes. Like it feels like it almost wallows.
Body and suspension aren't necessarily doing two in the same.
Yeah.
And again, I'm keeping the expectations for what it is, a body on frame, heavy, big ass.
100%. But in my mind, because I used to be in suburban land all the time, I would never get that body roll because it was so much wider, so much longer. Mm-hmm. And that, I did have air ride in the back of the Suburban.
One more thing about the current 4Runner. You still sit in it like you would sit in a goddamn sports car with your legs.
Oh, really? Oh, man. He'll never get rid of that.
Fifth
gen. Well, the 5th gen didn't have that, but the Tacoma did, and the 3rd gen Tacoma did, and the 4th gen 4Runner had it with your legs all the way out. Yeah, the 5th gen 4Runner didn't, though.
Yeah. One advantage that the Land Cruiser has is that the 4Runner has very short windows. Like the belt line is high, so the windshield is kind of shorter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or the dash is higher, so the visibility isn't as nice in the 4Runner.
Interesting.
The ideal combination for me would be the Land Cruiser without the hybrid with a bigger trunk where the battery is, and maybe a bigger fuel tank.
That would be pretty great.
Is it possible to get it without the hybrid?
Nope, no, not here.
With the 4Runner interior.
Yeah, not here. No. But that's how they sell, 8 different vehicles across the same little segment.
Yes, but they have 3 vehicles here, and I'm not like fully in love with either of them having owned.
That makes sense.
I mean, you've literally owned all of them before.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, I have 2 now. I had a V8 4Runner. I had a Land Cruiser.
I'll just say this. I'll say this as we close out. These are all new Toyota and Lexus SUVs. None of them are well liked or well received at the get-go. Like, it takes into what would basically be the model's, like mid-cycle refresh for everybody to kind of really go, okay, this is like what we know and love. So maybe it's like a teething thing and they just got to work some stuff out. But I don't know. They're throwing fucking,
I got another one about the 4Runner.
Knives at the wall all over the place.
You know the window with the switch for the rear window?
Yeah.
It used to be like a big switch in the middle of the center console.
Uh-huh.
Like
To open and close the sliding rear window. Yeah.
Now it's a tiny switch on the roof next to the dome light, and you just go like
next to the sunroof switch. Nobody's gonna push the wrong one there.
It's more of the dome light, but yeah, it's in that vicinity. I found that annoying. And it's a power hatch, but the power hatch is disabled if the window isn't fully closed.
So it doesn't explode when you like.
Well, it shouldn't slam.
No, but then
it's
should
lowering itself.
It should only be powered when the window is partially open.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be fully closed, and then when you try to open it, you have to fight the power mechanism because it puts so much resistance.
Man, you remember on the 4th gen 4Runners where it had that? It wasn't a power liftgate, but it would. Like you'd close it to 99.9%, and then the little motor would go and pull it closed. God, that was so stupid.
I mean, the 2008 Sequoia that we still own and does that.
That does it too. Oh man, what a waste of a feature.
Because I'm the size that I am, being 6'4", and my wife being 5'3", when the car is in her seating position, and I just like when I need to move it real fast. My knee absolutely the rear window switch on that thing is right there by the driver's right knee, and I always hit it and lower it. I'm like, why is it so loud in here? It's because the window's open and I can hear the car. Like,
oh Jesus!
I did tell you the story about that one though, right? I switched.
Well, I don't know.
Well, her driver's side view mirror was like the whatever auto dim was delaminating, which making the mirror completely useless. Like you couldn't see anything. So I just bought some Amazon mirrors, put them on there. But you got to take the door trim off or the door panel off to then get to all the bolts for the mirrors. Well, as I'm doing that, I was like, hey, there's another connector back here. Does that connector go to the memory buttons? Oh, it does. Oh, cool. So the memory button switches that I have been waiting for years to finally get to work now work.
Nice.
Yeah, they're just
disconnected.
Yeah, I just plugged it in and I was like, oh,
amazing,
magic.
Wow, that's really funny.
Yeah,
you killed 2 birds with 1 stone,
dude. It is a life-changing thing to just be able to hit the button in that thing. So, yeah.
So okay, well, I think we are at time, and I'll save BMW M8 versus Blackwing for another show.
I want to hear about that. Remember when you were into sports cars? Did we change, or did the whole industry change, or what the hell happened? I know why I'm driving cars that are more off-roady. It's because the roads where I live are so bad.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm tired of getting flat tires or bending wheels, and I also street park. But it's the people don't really care about sports cars anymore.
Nah.
That could be a whole separate conversation.
No, I mean,
V6 Dodge Chargers, I feel like, are what I see with exhaust added to them all the time.
Seriously, I mean, it's few and far between for sports cars here, but I mean, shit. I think the one vehicular summary for the last like 10 years in cars is like Subaru Wilderness. That's it. Just take something that's not really all that off-roady, put some plastic and some colors on it, and call it a totally new model that gives this
Safari all the things.
Yeah, I will say it is season of the Mustang out here right now. Like every 5 seconds, I hear a loud engine. I turn around, it's a Mustang going a different way. Like
season of the Mustang.
Season of the Mustang.
That sounds like a movie you would see on like I don't know, like an AMC at 4 a.m.
on Paramount. Produced by Taylor Sheridan. I don't know what happened.
There are plenty of sports cars in the Boston area and Boston itself, but most people just don't drive them every day. They have other cars.
Yeah. I don't know. There's this dude that drives from a couple towns north of here, I think, down to like downtown Stamford in a Ferrari FF. And I see him cruising past every couple days.
Yeah.
He dailies it year round. But
good for him.
Good for him.
Drive.
Yep. So, anyways,
hold on. Doesn't the front wheels only work to like 3rd gear though? Didn't we learn that on Top Gear?
But if you're going more than
we're talking about
miles an hour, you don't really need them.
Stop and go traffic here.
Exactly.
So traffic is so bad here now. So he's not going fast.
The thing that people don't know about the Porsche 911 all-wheel drive system is that it's 90% rear-wheel drive. You only get front power. It's like a Haldex system. When your rear tires start to spin.
It's slipping, right?
Everybody,
And if you're in a 911 and your rear tires are spinning, you have a whole bunch of problems as it is.
You're
That's
already,
also true.
you
Yeah.
yourself are also spinning.
that 10% is not going to help.
Right. I was shocked and blown away when I found that out.
It'll help you arrive at the scene of the accident.
Yes.
So I concluded that when and if I ever buy a Porsche, I don't need the all-wheel drive because
It'll just help you crash faster.
maybe it was needed on like a 959, but now between stability control systems, ABS, and all this other stuff.
It's a lot easier to not have that problem and just not have the money for a Porsche. There you go.
I'm already ahead of the game on that one,
Same.
Ahead of the curve, I should say. And not spinning in the curve.
Oh, man. I've emailed the Porsche press fleet a couple times and just nothing. Radio silence.
They're selling every car they can sell.
I know. They don't need me.
Did you ever talk to someone who bought a Porsche? You can't. You basically end up getting what they have.
Camille, we can tease this for another episode because I know you texted us. You had a buddy that texted you and was like, "Hey, what do you think of this car?" And you were like, "Don't do it. It's a bad cycle. It's terrible. Don't do it." And he was there and he was like, "Hey, they're putting a new battery in it already. Should they be doing that?" Do you remember that conversation?
Yes.
I just had another friend ask me, "Hey, what should I look at?" Gave him a full list. That vehicle was not on the list. Guess what he bought?
Listen,
The exact same thing.
I'm going to need a drink when we're going to talk about that, okay? Because
it's the car guy curse. That all I want you to do is validate him.
We're gonna do a topic for the show on that because that is that's the can of worms for us as resident car people in our respective families, and
we're cursed.
Should I buy this? No. Oh, I bought it anyway.
Dude, my mom did it to me. She was like, "Build me a spreadsheet," and I did. And she literally went and bought first model year of a brand new car. Not on the list.
My mom did the same thing with the BMW X2, and then she said it was a great deal. A week goes by, and they called me. Why is that engine making a weird noise? And if you know those engines, unless you're super religious about oil changes, they all develop NOx, and they're basically just become whatever. I sold the car for her. Okay,
that's
dude. My mom's still driving hers. She was a Subaru Ascent. She's still driving.
Okay, well that's.
My brother has an Ascent. It's actually working out really well for him.
Yeah, but she got the very first model year of it. Mid-cycle refreshes.
We could also get into like cars you shouldn't have bought anyway.
I haven't bought a Range Rover yet, and I'm dying to.
So somebody just wrote a story for Hooniverse.
Yes.
Who is
that? I was looking at it, and I was jealous.
Why do we all look at the same?
Hyatt.
Why do we all look at the same cars? Because I was just looking at Facebook listings for Range Rover.
Because we're equally stupid.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because Toyota ownership is too easy.
Yeah.
That being said, I've got like $5,000 worth of work I got to get done on one of them.
Oh my God! What?
Yeah, it's two different things that are.
What?
Yeah.
I want to hear. Think of a $5,000. Well,
power steering rack and then an alternator.
Okay, power steering rack. I can help you. For $600, you can get it rebuilt.
Okay. Where?
And then
the labor is the steering rack killer.
Not really. It's turned 5 in Michigan, and they did a great job on my Prado. Because when the steering rack went out on my Prado, I was hosed because it's right-hand drive. But they used a 4Runner rebuild kit, and they did a great job on it. And it was $500. Yes, you have to ship them your rack, but you have choices. There's another company that just does steering racks aftermarket.
Okay.
She beats me.
All right, we'll start. We'll take it. We'll take it in the text chain.
Because I had to do control arms on mine. No, I did the steering rack on my car. I did the steering rack on my GX.
I think you did.
I
think that was part of that cascade of problems you had with it.
I did, and I'll give you their name because they sent a refurbished one that was stronger. But yours is already stronger because a lot of people put the 460 rack on a 470.
Okay.
And there's slight differences.
Well, this is the wife's Sequoia.
Oh, Tundra rack. Do a Tundra rack.
I don't know about those.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll take it.
Yeah. That's another thing that Toyota cannot get right. I mean, they fail only after 200,000 miles. What a piece of crap.
Dude, guess how we figured it out? I couldn't get it aligned.
Yeah, mine was leaking. My problem was, and I know I really have to go. I need to change axles every year now. because of the way it's lifted and the big ass tires that I have, the angles at which the axles are.
I think something else is happening there because I know a lot of people who run bigger tires
I
and
put
more
cheap axles
lift.
in it.
Yeah. We'll talk about that too offline, but
I actually don't want to talk about it offline. No, there's a million things I'd rather
leave
talk
me
about.
alone. Okay. Well, on that note, it is time to wrap here. So
Good night.
Camille, Chris, thank you. Listeners, thank you. Hooniverse podcast on the places where you find podcasts. And
follow my goddamn YouTube channel, The Real Camille. Right? I have 180 subs, 195. Ooh.
I'm gonna do the fake Camille and just parody yours.
Hey, if you want to go back and look at 200 plus episodes of off-road content, off the road again,
off
still
the
there
road
for your
again
viewing
podcast.
pleasure.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'll do that right now.
Okay. All right, guys. I will cease recording, and hopefully this doesn't turn into a pumpkin. Goodbye.